Hello, this is your instructor, Dennis Westman, again. I'd like to talk a little bit about Chapter 5 this week. This is actually one of our shorter chapters, and so I'm not going to go into as much detail as I've done in the past weeks. In fact, this chapter, a lot of it is self-explanatory and provides just some hints and tips and tricks regarding recruitment and professional development and hiring and those sorts of things. And so if you'd like, go ahead and grab your textbook and let's follow along. And I'm going to just hit a couple of the high points. Again, I'm not going to be as detailed as in the last couple of chapters because this information, a lot of it is really self-explanatory and really does sort of make sense to most people. So again, Chapter 5, beginning on page 188, talks about recruitment, and recruitment is just locating and finding possible employees for a particular position. Almost every business, every industry does some sort of recruitment, whether they do recruitment fairs, whether they simply post an ad in a newspaper. They are recruiting, trying to locate and find positions, locating and finding people for those positions. Typically, if you look on page 190, 191, 92, 93, even into 94, 95, 96, 97, those all deal with various types of recruiting, from headhunters to placing advertisements to just internally locating employees. You all may work at some place where they tend to look for employees internally or within the company first. For instance, here at Grayson, we typically will open positions up to people that are currently employed at the college first for a period of time, and then open it up to the public to give the opportunity for advancement within the college to those that might be qualified for the position. And then if you're looking at page 200, talks in more detail about recruiting talent internally, and then some pros and cons or advantages and disadvantages of that. While it might be great to recruit from within, sometimes it's better to look outside because you bring with the new person outside a unique skill set that maybe you don't have within the company. And so sometimes it's really good to look outside the company as well. Again, and going on to page 202, 203, and so on, deals with identifying qualified candidates. How do you, once you recruit people, how do you decide which one is qualified, which one's best for the position? And that just goes along with seeing which person or which candidate might be best for the particular position. And then in section or objective 4, page 205, deals with career management and developing talent over time. This really has to go with managing the individual and organizational needs and developing people so that they can continue to excel in the company. So you're sort of growing your own, so to speak, and with the hopes that as people retire, as people leave, as people move on, you have a pool of well-qualified applicants within the company. And then if you look, considering the next few pages, there are some information on 212 about tracking career stages and career development. And then there are also some initiatives listed on page 214 and 215 about how to go about developing career development programs so that the employees, again, are helped to sort of be homegrown within your company. There's workshops, mentoring, career counseling. Some of you may have been a part of a number of these activities, workshops, mentoring, those sorts of things. And networking is really a big part of locating positions and trying to get a job. That is talked about on page 219 and 220. And then finally in 222, or 220 and 221 and 222, dealing with a diverse talent pool. You know, no longer is it just the white male working in business and industry. You know, that you see TV shows where they tend to highlight that, whether for comedy or just the fact that, you know, typically 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, that was your typical employee. However, now it is extremely diverse. You have multiple races, multiple ages, of course both male and female in various positions, and so it's really helpful to understand those particular elements and how you can go about helping to develop that particular talent pool. And then on 223, it talks a little bit about a glass ceiling. You've probably heard about this, where at some point you're capped as a particular candidate or a particular person in a position, and you can't go any higher. Maybe it's because you're male in a female-dominated industry, or vice versa. Maybe you're female in a male-dominated industry, or maybe you're of a particular other element or demographic, and there tends to be a glass ceiling, which is this sort of a barrier, but there are items in place to help with that, and those are discussed on page 223, 224, 225, because it's key that everyone have the same opportunities and are judged fairly without regard to any kind of other demographic information. And then the last section of the chapter talks about dealing with the disabled workforce or older employees, and it's kind of some interesting reading. I would encourage you to take a look at that, because you will see a couple of questions later on about disabled and older workers, because those people are in the workforce as well, and it's helpful to understand where they're coming from and how they can be integrated into your particular industry. Have a great week. I will see you again soon. Thank you.